Let's go to Les Halles next. Time for some shopping, Falcon. Maybe later. For now, we need to find people who've spoken to the king. He's been known to pass through Les Halles on occasion, so if we're lucky... Hey, monsieur, it's us, remember? We remember. Are you keeping well, madame? Absolutely. Never been better. So what can I sell you today? Information. We're looking for positive stories about the king. I don't suppose you have any. The king? No, I haven't got nothing to say about the king. The king's a smelly egg thief. Quiet, child. Quiet, child. You know what they say about the king having spies everywhere? Spies? Calm down, Sparrowson. The rumours of the king having an elaborate spy network are patently untrue. How do you explain the shut-down banquets, huh? The government's clamping down on anyone who dissents, you know? Let's get this conversation back on track. Joey, can you tell us why the king's a smelly egg thief? My name's not Joey. It's nothing you need to concern yourselves with, monsieur. Well, please go on. Please go on, madame. Don't worry, we aren't spies. At least I don't think we are. I know, I trust you guys. See, a couple of years ago, we were running a shop. An antiques and odds and ends shop. And we had an egg. It was this golden egg, super precious. We must have bought the thing for 200 francs, but it was easily worth 10 times that. We were pining on making a nice tidy sum from it. I see, an investment egg. So what happened? Well, one day we were visited by the king, no less. An old King Louis showed an interest in our egg. So we were thinking, this would be our chance to make bank, right? But then the geezer just goes and waddles off with it. Without paying you? Oh yeah, he paid us all right. What's this? The coin of one of the king's guards slipped away. It wasn't even French. Britannia 1752. That is the... I think that's a British penny. I'm gonna have a look. What? I have a little folder of old coins. I wonder how many people watching are surprised by that. Where am I? I must have gone past the old pennies. Ah, yep, yeah, it's a penny. Oh, that's even the right kind of seat. Brilliant. Yep, Britannia's. That's an old penny. That is an old penny. The comments in this video are going to be interesting. Yep, that's an old British penny. I don't know what that'd be relative to the franc in 1752, but that's not a lot of money. I think this is British. One of those crazy imperial unit coins from a crazy imperial country. Yeah, so pennies, I'm just trying to think. There were 12 pennies to the shilling. There were 20 shillings to the pound. There was 21 shillings to the... What was that? Was that a guinea? What was a crown? It does make, like, inflation stuff really, really weird because of the way that works. Because in 1973, I could pull up my coins again and have a look and see what the actual date was. We went to decimalised currency, so there was 100 pennies to the pound, rather than, well, it'd be 240. So, yeah, so it's a bit weird. Yeah, crazy imperial units. I have no idea what the British-French exchange rate is, but can we buy this off you, madame? Put your wallet away and keep it. It's worthless to me. Sultan's coin has been added. Losing that egg bankrupted us. It put us out on the streets. But now we've bounced back. Sultan and Gambard. Better than ever. That's excellent to hear. Anyway, we must make our leave. You've been a huge help, madame. We're going to go kick that king's butt and get your egg back. Hold on, we're supposed to be the defence. Yeah, I think we're becoming the prosecution, aren't we? All these stories are rubbish. The Palais de Justice. Excuse me, Judge Maxime. Hello, Falcon. Nice work on that catacombs business. Word has really spread about your impromptu lawyering skills. Really? I'm getting a reputation. Hey, I helped too. Of course you did, Robinson. Sparrowson. Right, Sparrington. Judge Maxime, I don't suppose Monsieur Cocorico has filled you in on what we've been working on since then. No, he hasn't. How to put this? We're planning we're not bringing down the king. We're planning a trial of sorts. We're planning a trial of sorts. We intend on forming a case against, the king! Right, and, we want you to adjudicate. A trial against the king? Interesting. What are his exact charges? I'm not sure, to be perfectly honest. That seems more like Severan's territory. If you aren't even sure of that, then I don't think you're quite prepared for this trial. Maybe we should leave this to lawyers who have a little more experience. I see. Well, thank you anyway. Let's make a move, Sparrowson. What about our judge? Doesn't matter. Let's focus on building a solid defense case for the king, and we can wing it from there. Maybe we can even hold the trial without any judges at all. Just Cocorico, me, and the king in the middle. It's strange, Falcon. You're like your grandfather, and yet you're nothing like him. Wait? You knew my grandfather? But I wouldn't say new. I was just a teenager when he was causing havoc in the courtrooms. But of course, I'm familiar with his work. Falcon, I find your career choice peculiar. Your grandfather worked so hard to prosecute King Louis XVI, and yet here you are, rigorously working to defend your own king. Just like him, you'd make an excellent prosecutor, so why did you choose the rocky path of the private defender? Balance? Balance. No, leave a shadow. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I just wanted to take myself out of my grandfather's shadow. I wanted to carve my own path as a lawyer. I don't want to be the poor imitation of an old hero. Quite understandable. Oh, just look at the time. I'm due back in the courtroom. But before I go, let me just say that I'd be happy to adjudicate your trial, Falcon. Really? That's fantastic. Thank you, Your Honor. It's no trouble. Show me what the grandson of Maximilien Robespierre is capable of. Well, he wasn't just, like, a prosecution. He was also a brutal tyrant. I hope that J.J. Falcon doesn't become a brutal tyrant. Please? Please? What's the plan for today? In the Louvre? Checking out Les Halles, maybe? Actually, I was thinking... Severin, how rude. Don't they teach you to knock? No time for bickering, JJ. It's time. Time? For what? The trial, you dunce. Already? A large protest is started to form at the Place de la Concorde. No doubt it'll turn to an unruly mob before long. The spirit of revolution is in the air. We must act now. Going to start the necessary preparations at the courthouse. So I need you to get the king from the Palais Royal. You want me to drag the king to the courthouse? I'm not even sure that I could drag him from his chair. Use diplomacy or don't. I'm sure you'll think of something. Right. Come along, Sparrowson. We have a king to defend. This is going to go badly. So very, very badly. Falcon Sparrowson rush across the city. Scores of angry eyes watch the pair's every movement. Cockery was right. The spirit of revolution is in the air. Outside the Palais Royal, a crowd has started to form. The royal guards watch in nervous anticipation. 3,600 and... Save it. We're number one. You again? Shouldn't you be in jail? No time for that nonsense. Your Majesty, we need you to come with us. Why? The sale of fish. Group of angry rebels. The trial you need to attend. This is a trial. Why didn't you say so? I love trials. Oh, am I needed to give a testimony? Please say it's so. As a matter of fact, Your Majesty, yes, I think you will need to give a testimony. Oh, goody, goody, goody. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go. That was a lot easier than I expected it to be. So this is... I assume that this trial is going to be the last trial. This seems very last trial-y. Because it's been building up the thing all the way along, hasn't it? This has been building up the trial of... the kind of building up like the rebellion stuff, and I think this must be the conclusion. Did anyone spot us? I don't think so. It's still early. The crowds are only just starting to form. With any luck, we can get this trial over with before anyone realizes what's going on. You. Uh-oh. You treasonous scumbags. You actually captured the king. Why are you Scottish? You were Northern before. Never mind. Captured? Clearly a joke, Your Majesty. Ah, very subtle. I like it. So it's true. You do intend to hold a trial. Your actions are utterly despicable. You're all at the same level as these filthy rebel dissenters. Do you intend to stop us, Inspector? On any other day I would. You're rotten lawbreakers through and through. I want nothing more than to see you tried and punished for your traitorous stances. But I owe a debt to you, Falcon, and to Monsieur Cocorico. So you'll let us pass. I have ordered for a dozen National Guards to set up a perimeter around the entrance of the Palais de Justice. The rebels will inevitably catch word the king is here. They will try to storm the building. When they do, we will be ready to hold them off. That's amazing. Thank you, Inspector. Go on, before I change my mind. This is going to go very weirdly. All right, settle down, everyone, settle down. Oh, should I be standing here? Am I in the right place? Where you are is perfect, Your Majesty. Now, is everyone here? J.J. Falcon present. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Severin Cocorico present. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Ooh, this'll be good. I wonder who's on trial. Are the jury all here? All present and accounted for, Your Honor. Everything seems to be in order. The court is now in session for the trial of King Louis Philippe. Ooh, that's me! What? Wait, what? Calm down, Your Majesty. We're simply prosecuting you for a short list of 32 crimes against the French people. What is this madness? Did you set me up to this? Well, yes and no. We're your defense, Your Majesty. I'm so confused. The process is simple. I'll state a charge that's being leveled at you and present my evidence for the charge. You and your defense will then have the opportunity to present their own counter-evidence. I'm even more confused. Just let us do your talking, Your Majesty. We're doing this for your own good. Wouldn't want you to end up like old Louis the 16th now, would we? Let us proceed. Prosecution, present the first charge. King Louis Philippe, you're being charged with neglecting the lower classes of the nation. Continued support of Guizot's outdated policies have resulted in an ever-growing wage gap. Poverty is rampant. Animals are forced to turn to begging, thievery, and burglary just to survive. How do you justify this vile attitude? Goodness, you're going straight for the jugular, aren't you? I'm a good person. I don't hate poor people. I feel mild contempt for them, certainly, but don't we all? Please allow me to do your talking, Your Majesty. Severin the King is far kinder to poor people than the general populace has been led to believe. Some would even describe him as a generous philanthropist. Who would describe him as a generous philanthropist? Some would. We're going to have to do better than that. Show me the example. Just one example of a king being generous to a poor person. Such Renard's story. I'd like to present this story. It's the account of a person who was a sick and starving beggar. One day, this beggar was approached by the king. Did the king offer the beggar money? No. Money? No! He offered something far better. He offered the beggar financial advice. It's true, I did do that. Where is that beggar now? He runs a successful business that can pull 40 francs from a single client transaction. Amazing. And the ex-beggar attributes the king for his radical transformation? Well, he didn't say so directly, but it was implied. Interesting. Would you mind telling us the name of this person? Let's do the names. I wonder what will happen if I do that. He's a man named Renard Vulpes. Oh, Renard Vulpes, the trickster and con artist who runs that deplorable private investigation service. You're familiar with him? Of course. That fox has been meddling in trials and disturbing investigations for years. It was produced by the King's Financial Advice. We shall be deeply concerned. Oh dear. Outside the Palais Royal, protesters charge at the building's gates, effortlessly overcoming the royal guards. Lucius take the opportunity to overrun and ransack the building. Where on earth is that accursed king? Piero! No sign of him, ma'am. Rumour is he's gone and fled the building, same as Guizot. The Prime Minister and the King both fled before we even started our assault. How is that even possible? Madame Beaumont, I found someone who may be of use. Oh dear. A royal guard? Nice find, Fontaine. Speak, duck. Tell us where the king is. Ha! You'll think me a common turncoat. I would have you know that I am the mighty Officer Beck. I would sooner die than betray my country. Oh, don't say that. Okay. The Palais de Justice. A couple of lawyers came and took him to the Palais de Justice. That was easy. Piero, Fontaine, gather the crowd. We're marching on the Palais de Justice. What are we up to? Charge 12? Please continue, prosecutor. Very well. King Louis Philippe, you stand accused of crushing small business in favour of supporting wealthier industry giants. Such a nepotic attitude only serves to discourage people from forming their own enterprises. I disagree. As a self-made businessman, the king has constantly shown his support for all businesses, big and small. Another ludicrous assertion from the defence. Prove me wrong, J.A. When was the king ever shown support for a grassroots business? Oh yeah, Toussaint. I would like to present this story. It is the account of a fisherman. Angler, who recently caught an enormous catfish from the Seine. Some say the fish was as large as 2 meters. Upon catching the fish, the king congratulates the man and offered him compensation for his efforts. Compensation for his efforts? You mean he bought the fish? In so many words, yes. But putting aside how weak an example that is of a man supporting a local business, I see it much pressing issue. There is no way that a fisherman caught a 2-meter fish from the Seine. What if he had killer bait, like, say, a box of high-end chocolates? Ludicrous. Nobody would be stupid enough to use chocolates as fishing bait. You guys can't be serious. Outside the doors of the Tribunal de Grande, Inspector Valerti watches the ever-growing crowd of protesters. The National Guard poise their bayonets, keeping the angry mob at bay. Disgusting rabble, the lot of them. Oh, it looks like the guards are letting someone through. An emissary of the rebels, or perhaps one who considers themselves a leader. Are you the officer in charge of this barricade? I am. Came to talk to you directly. I feel we can settle this maturely. No violence, no casualties. Wouldn't that be marvellous? We only have one demand, that is, that you stand aside and let me escort the king out of the building. Grant me that, and I will order the crowd to disperse. I don't know if this is your first revolution, mademoiselle, but it certainly ain't mine. If your protesters want the king, they'll have to get past the line of National Guard. And I don't think your people have the skill, equipment, or raw numbers to accomplish such a feat. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. I believe we're up to the last charge, are we not? Correct. Charge 32. King Louis-Philippe, you're accused of being an imbecile. You're mentally unfit to run this country. No need to get personal. It isn't a crime to be an idiot, Severin. Thankfully. If it were, we'd all be doing our time right now. Illegal, no, but it does raise the question of why we were giving an idiot so much power. Let's not follow the example of Great Britain, who let the mad king, George III, rule for decades past his prime. Yeah, technically, but George IV was acting as his regent, as the Prince Regent. So that, you know, it was still being run by a king, and also at that point we also had prime ministers who did quite a bit of the running anyway. Sorry, I'm just going to get on my soapbox. Also, the French should not be using George III as a bad example. He was the first king since, I think, Henry V, to not have King of France as one of his titles. I mean, at one point I think we ruled most of France, and then the French decided to kick us off. And Henry V took it on as part of the 100 Years' War. He got part of the treaty, a peace treaty that Britain had with France, was that the French king would, when he died, the French crown would be inherited by Henry V. The French nobility, when he died, were not happy with this, and the Dauphin went against him, and blah, 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 blah. 100 Years' War continued, and yeah, and that's where they took on the King of France title. But then George III, he stopped doing that, and that was before the before the American War of Independence, which could well be 1752. Yeah, okay, avid reader. King Louis-Philippe is neither mad nor stupid. He's an intelligent and competent individual. I'll have you know I'm the only competent person on prune days. I'm only competent on prune days. Your Majesty, please. You've chosen an impossible battle, J. The King's idiocy is widely accepted. I urge you to prove me wrong. Show me one shred of evidence that the King is not a blithering idiot. That. I would like to present this account given by a local librarian. He asserts the King is something of an avid reader. Picture books don't count, JJ. Oh, I had no idea that an expansive history of the Macedonian Empire was a picture book. The King has been known to check out as many as a dozen thick books in a single day, covering a wide range of subjects. Face the facts, Severin. The King is an educated man. Perhaps a test is in order. That wouldn't be necessary. What was the name of that book you mentioned? An expansive history of the Macedonian Empire? Tell me, Majesty, where is Macedonia? Where? Yes, I'll even make it easy. Just tell us the name of the continent. What continent is Macedonia in? You can do this, Your Majesty. It's a 1 in 7 shot. Can you really do it? I want to say Africa, but I've got it. London. Oh, mon Dieu. I think we're done here, Your Honor. So I've demonstrated in excruciating detail the King is incompetent, lazy, stupid, and occasionally malicious. He isn't fit to run a bakery, let alone a nation. Very well, prosecutor. Does the defense have anything to add? Yes. Yes, Your Honor. I've got nothing. I've defended this man to the best of my abilities, and I have nothing more to say. Very good. Then I shall now converse with the jury. We shall determine precisely which crimes the King is guilty of and decide on appropriate punishment. Punishment? I didn't even get to use my coin. Was that just a random coin? Lawyer man, you have to do something. I'm scared. Calm down, Your Majesty. The whole purpose of this trial is to see that your punishment is fair and fitting. You're not going to end up with your head on a spike. At least, I don't think you will.